a serum. They put it in a little syringe, and they can kind of they shoot it in the baby's mouth under his tongue, under his or her tongue, and they just swallow it. And I saw this little baby take it, and there was no reaction. She wasn't like, "Ugh, get that away from me." She just went back to playing with her toys. So obviously, it doesn't taste like anything. It's just an oil. So that's that. But this guy, and I saw him speak before. I think it was on like Real Sports. He was at the Cannabis Industry Expo in Denver. That's what it is. Obviously, he was in Denver. Everyone's getting baked.
Well, Seattle.
Yeah, just falling out. But no, I'm not gonna say that. That's wrong for me to even say that, because now it's kind of, the novelty has worn off now. Like the first day, it was bunking, but now the novelty is worn off, and now it's just like it's like any other business. It's like any other liquor store or anything. Like,
well, it's really not like any other business, because I saw this documentary where, of course, it's a cash business, and because the banks, the way that the laws are still in Colorado.
No, those are the federal laws. The federal laws.
The federal laws, right. The bank won't take the money, and so the stores, they're not even dispensaries, they're full-out stores. They end up having to keep all of their cash
in safes,
in big safes,
right,
inside the store.
Here's what the irony of all this is, Rob. Now, the federal government says we're not going to recognize your business as a legal business. Therefore, you cannot have money. You can't have illegal money in the federal system. But the IRS will still send you a packet on how to file your taxes for your money.
Yeah, they will.
What? You won't let me put my money in a bank so I can get a bank card and some checks to pay my employees, but I still got to pay you taxes on it? Yeah, but you know that's how they brought down Al Capone.
Yep.
He didn't claim his illegal money. It wasn't no murders. It wasn't no embezzlement. It was because he didn't pay taxes on his illegal money. Go figure. The U.S. government is a joke. This is something that this guy, a couple things that Nate Jackson, former Denver Broncos tight end, said about the weed. He was an avid weed smoker when he played. He played from 2003 to 2008. No, seriously. He said it kept my brain clean. He says, quote, I feel like I exited the game with my mind intact, and I credit that to marijuana in a lot of ways, and not getting hooked on these pain pills that are recklessly distributed in the league when a guy gets an injury. Now, that's big, because what's the other lawsuit that the NFL is facing right now? Not just a concussion one. There's another one. Yeah, all these guys that got hooked on painkillers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, all of those guys, they're suing now because they feel like they were indiscriminately given these pills and not given the side effects or given the ramifications of taking so many of them. People have like liver damage. People are addicted right now. Yeah, it's a big problem. But you know what? Don't give you liver damage. From what I know, I don't think it does either. So there's that. And again, I talked about this the other day. The studies have come out that weed, two things, helps with inflammation. So the pain that a football player would be experiencing that next day, that Monday, would help with that. So Jerome Bettis, who couldn't even go upstairs until Thursday at his house. He couldn't even walk up the stairs till Thursday. Mm-hmm. And the other thing it does, it's been proven to help with head injuries. Yeah, NFL.
Well, that's what
a
former football player that we know, that's what he told me. That he wakes up with like concussion syndrome, where symptoms, where he couldn't even open up the blinds because the light coming through the blinds was so strong. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did. Yep. That's what he would do. He would smoke, and hours later he would be able to function a whole lot better than he was, when he wake up or if he hadn't smoked.
Absolutely.
So, the funny part about it is that hearing that it kind of reverses it kind of reverses. And it's funny because everything that suggests that weed does what? Kills your brain cells. That's what you're always told, right?
Right.
Like, marijuana, all it does is, it's a gateway drug. All it does is kill your brain cells. But in actuality, I mean, the Indians, who, of course, the medicine man, and, that's what they used to do.
That's peyote.
So,
I don't know.
That's Phil Jackson, fool.
he live up there in North Dakota where the Trail of Tears was at. They ran them Indians.
Oh yeah, and I bet he got him a nice little crop out there.
My man, might as well get it on. He got $12 million in the bank, or not in the bank, that he's getting paid from the Knicks for doing nothing, for running the franchise into the ground.
For tweeting, he's just tweeting.
He and Derek Fisher. Derek.
He's talking crap about his team via Twitter.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad, Phil. The other thing he says is, quote, marijuana is not the problem in their lives. The real danger is that they're smashing they're quote smashing their skulls over and over and over again. Like, this is like, the NFL don't want to hear this, man. They do not want to hear it, because, like I said, people don't want to admit that they're wrong. Powerful, rich people don't want to ever admit that they were wrong about something. But in this case, the NFL is dead wrong. This kid is about to be suspended for a year because he smoked some weed. And like, all the high and mighty people was like, oh, well, like Chris Carter. This is what me and John Chucker got into it. Like, all these people who sit behind that desk at ESPN want to automatically diagnose this dude. You know what I mean? Oh, he's got a problem. Hold on, Chris Carter. You know about problems, of course you do. But your problem, was the drink and cocaine, cuz that's totally different. It's a totally different thing. You was on that drink and on that coke, and I don't mean coke the drink. I mean that cocaine, that powder.
I'm in love with the cocoa.
Yeah, it definitely was.
He was in love with the cocoa.
So now you feel like you can use that experience to diagnose this boy. Come on, man. Like, this ain't that, man. And Stephen A. Smith talking about Josh Gordon's responsibility as a young black man to the rest of his race, as a young black man who's made it. Look, man, that dude don't represent me. He represents himself. And any action that he takes or doesn't take is on him. Like, I get tired of that whole deal there. No, like, again, if your kid has a bad day at school tomorrow because Josh Gordon got suspended for weed, you're a bad parent. Someone needs to call DFACS immediately. You're a bad parent. Stop letting your kids romanticize over these imperfect human beings that are just like us. Like,
they're worse than us.
Like, no, they're just like us. They go through the same trials and tribulations that we do, just under a microscope. So just like if the dude that sits in the cubicle next to you beats his wife, your kid shouldn't have a problem with that. Like, your kid shouldn't have a bad day because of that. The same way he shouldn't have a bad day if Greg Hardy, well, I was going to say if Greg Hardy throws his woman on a pile of guns, allegedly, or, I don't know, can you say it didn't happen now? I don't know. How do you say this?
That's called rough sex, man. That's rough sex,
well,
dog.
I'm not going to say that. Yeah, you're a perv. Like, I'm not throwing my lady on no pistol. Like, we're both gun owners, and I'm not throwing her on nan one of them, much less a pile of them. Like,
hey,
that's not comfortable for anybody involved.
That's called unsafe sex.
Look, exactly. But here's the other thing. We got about 6 minutes, and this Greg Hardy thing, another way, the NFL, oh, God, they are such idiots. And everything blows up in their face. There's no way. Like, how do you handle that? Okay, he had one trial, and the judge said, yep, you definitely guilty of domestic violence. But then he exercises his rights and says, I have a right to request a jury trial. And while y'all getting this jury together, I'm going to drop this chick some bread, which is not it's not no rumor or no secret. It happened. There was a money transaction between him and the young lady. And then when it's time to have this jury trial, can't nobody find her.
She was nowhere to be found.
Can't nobody find her.
Exactly.
So they dropped the charges. Now, NFL, what do you do? What do you do? Because in essence, by the law, he didn't do it.
We're going to investigate it.
Yeah, your investigation, you've already shown your investigation is not better than the police or the authorities. So quit that whole move, because we didn't even see no tape. We didn't see that boy knock that woman out. Really no. Oh, really no. Come on, B. No one believes you. You need more people. All day. So this Greg Hardy thing, where they're going to still try to, like, they try to extend a little olive branch. Like, you can still sign a deal, though, even though you're on this commissioner's list. You can sign this deal. Oh, I forgot to do the professional thing. If you don't know what happened to Greg Hardy, he got accused of domestic violence for throwing his old lady at the time on a pile of guns and threatening her, allegedly because when they broke up, she was messing with Nelly. Okay, that's the backstory. And now he has been acquitted, or the charges were dropped. I think that's something different. He wasn't acquitted. The charges were thrown out of court because the defendant, the person who was accusing him, the accuser, never showed up for court. So he got off scot-free. As far as his record is concerned, there is no evidence of any type of domestic violence. He's off. But now the NFL has to determine whether, because they're so reactive, and because 2 games wasn't enough for Ray Rice, how many games don't get his kid? You can't give, because now you can't give him none. Can you give him 2? There's no tape on this dude, so can you give him 2?
But they said while all of this is going on, he can still sign with another team, though, right?
Right. But okay, you're the team. You want to sign Greg Hardy. You don't know if he's going to be out for 2, 6, 10 games. How does that work? Like, that's why I say it's stupid. Go ahead, Greg. You can sign with another team. Okay, the first time you sit down with a team, they can wonder what your availability is.
I don't know.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
All right, come back when you do, and then we'll talk some business. Like the NFL, this Roger Goodell thing, and I'm loving every bit of it because I think he's a D-bag. Oh, I do. I think he don't have a clue of what's going on. I think he's a shyster, the same way he got these fools to sign a 10-year CBA without any opt-out. What did I tell you when that happened, bro? Because we were on the air on CBS when that happened. And what I told you was, what's going to happen is, anything that these owners gave up, in 10 years, they're going to get it back tenfold. Because guess why?
Yep.
None of the players who will be representing the players at that time will have ever gone through a CBA negotiation. We're talking guys like Andrew Luck and Cam Newton and guys like Russell Wilson, guys who you can see them having a nice 10-year career because the CBA ain't up till 2021. That's 6 more damn years.
All of them might not even be in the league. None of them.
But all the veterans will be gone. All the veterans will be gone. All the guys who went through the last CBA, they're out of here. They're done. Yeah. Jeff Saturday and Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Adrian Peterson, all these dudes will be done playing football. So the owners are just going to run over these kids, man. Well, they won't be kids anymore. They'll just be inexperienced. They would have had no experience in negotiation. Hopefully, DeMaurice will still be there. DeMaurice. What do they call him? I think white folks call him DeMaurice, right?
No, they call him DeMaurice.
Right.
Yeah, they call him DeMaurice.
Well, we all know.
It's DeMaurice.
Thank you.
Because, I mean, even that's what Mike Golick calls him, DeMaurice. Yeah. He don't call him DeMaurice. He calls him DeMaurice because that's what his name is.
Yeah, stop punishing yourself like that. Stop watching Mike and Mike in the
morning. Stop
doing it to yourself.
Dude. Say, no, I say, come on, man. No, man. I've listened to that shit. Come on, man. Now, I've listened to the show.
That's like slowly cutting yourself with a rusty butter knife.
I mean, I worked at a place where that was the alternative when the morning show wouldn't be in. So, yeah, I've listened. I'm not going to sit and act like I haven't.
Oh, look at that. Look at the time. We got about a minute left, man. I think we got to a lot of the things,
We
talked about Mookie. We talked about Craig Sager being back, so big up to him. Big up to Craig coming back tonight. He's going to be a part of the NCAA tournament as well, so that's cool. We talked about the MVP race. We got into some of the weed policies in sports, the MLB versus the National Football League, and how I believe it's so antiquated. We didn't get a chance to go over any of these free agent moves that happened today, but tomorrow I'll make sure. You know what? We'll lead the show off with that tomorrow, because there's sure to be some other moves made today. Vince Wilfork his option won't be picked up. He didn't get cut yet, but his option won't be picked up, so he'll be a free agent as well. Guys like Trent Cole, pass rusher type guys, defensive line guys that they got either cut or their options weren't picked up. So we'll do a bunch of that tomorrow. This is the Sports Podcast.
Meeting with the Raiders.
Who?
And Ndamukong Suh meeting with the Raiders.
He's meeting with the Raiders, yes. This is the Sports Kings podcast. We're on Spreaker.